I've got my drip irrigation installed and ready to go. Hey, how long are you supposed to run one of these for anyway? Let's take a look. 30 minutes every other day, 1.5 inches a week. What's going on here? This video is all about how long you should run your drip irrigation system and ultimately how to avoid underwatering your garden. And at the end, I'll reveal exactly how long I watered my own garden after 10 years of trial and error. I'm going to break down all the factors. Come on. There's one answer that's accurate in all cases for how long to run your drip irrigation system for, and that is, it depends. Now, I know that's not why you came here. So at some point near the end of this video, I will give some specific recommendations based on what I do in my garden and what others do in their garden. It can all be boiled down into a few simple rules of thumb to follow. The first thing I want to cover is soil type. Faster draining, looser soils are going to require longer watering times than denser, slow draining soils. In fact, if you water too long on a clay soil or a dense soil, you might get water pulling up on the surface, running off, and that's going to lead to evaporation and other things you don't like. But if you had your soil trucked in or bought it at the garden center at the store, you have common, everyday, loamy garden soil. If you're using a native soil, it might be worth thinking about a little bit more, and you can check out the video there in the top right, and it goes into a little bit more detail about soil type versus emitter flow rates and run times. The next factor is, what are you growing your plants in? Are you growing your plants in a raised bed that's going to drain water faster than an in-ground bed? Or what about a fabric pot versus a plastic tower, or even a hanging basket that drops water very quickly? The faster your container drains water, the longer you want your watering cycle, and vice versa. If your container holds onto water really good, or it's an in-ground bed with a nice, healthy water base, you can get by with shorter watering cycles. It's not just about what containers you're growing your plants in, but where your container's at. Consider these two raised beds right here. We've got one that's in direct sunlight, another that's in a shaded location. Of the two, which one do you think is going to require more water? Of course, it's the one in direct sunlight. You'll notice that's the one we mulch. Mulching helps your watering become very efficient. Mulch traps the moisture in the soil and makes your watering more efficient. So shorter run times will be just as good as longer running times when you've got mulch covering the surface of your soil. The emitters in the drip line deliver the water underneath the mulch, and the mulch locks in the moisture so it doesn't evaporate or escape. Mulch is a game changer, and it gives you a big margin for error and helps any kind of soil retain its moisture. We did not put mulch here in our shady bed, and part of the reason is because these are on the exact same zone. So we really wanted to try to get their run times as close to each other as we could. But in reality, this one does not require a long run time as this one. And no matter what container you're growing your plants in, you don't need to water right after it rains or during. Before I tell you how long to water, I want to tell you a little story of how long I used to water. Many, many years ago, when I got my first drip irrigation system and put it in my garden, I was still a pretty new gardener, just a couple years behind my belt. And my watering cycles, I was completely guessing. I didn't even really search it up. I just decided to go with 45 minutes in the morning and 45 minutes at night. And I did that from spring to harvest. And guess what? My plants all did really well. So through the years, that of course has evolved, and I've messed with my watering cycles. So what did I do here to get this? During the hottest part of summer, I ran this for 30 minutes every day. During the cooler parts of spring and fall, I reduced that to 30 minutes every other day. And I got fantastic results, and I feel good about the watering cycle, not wasting too much water, and giving the plants all the hydration they need. It is that simple. The only other factor I really consider is that I run it before the sun comes up to reduce evaporation, and I don't run it when it rains. I have a rain sensor set up so that it automatically shuts off the irrigation when it rains, but if I didn't, I would just come in, hit the timer, and shut the irrigation off for the day. Almost the entirety of this garden is watered by 1/2 gallon per hour drippers and the 1/4 inch drip line. It's what comes standard in our kits. So if you don't have your system yet, consider a kit, or at least consider using the type of emitters that comes with the kit. If a 1/2 gallon per hour ends up not being enough for some of your plants, the kit has extra emitters in it. You can add another emitter to those really thirsty plants. The big thing I want you to take from all this is you have a margin for error when you're using drip irrigation. And your plants are probably going to do pretty good as long as you don't overwater them. Remember, it's always easy to add more water at any time, but it's very difficult to remove water. But there is one thing very specific I can recommend to help you get the most out of an irrigation system, out of any kind really, but particularly drip irrigation, and that's go with the timer. Remember, you want your soil to be consistently moist. Your plants want to be consistently have access to water. So grab yourself a timer. It automates everything so that you don't forget, and it makes sure your plants are always going to get that consistent amount of moisture that they need. Timers these days aren't like old irrigation controllers that were really complicated and hard to program. They're pretty easy. You can program them right at the timer. They even have some that are Wi-Fi now that you say, I want to start at this time and I want to stop at this time. I like to water in the morning before the sun comes up, but if you're not using overhead, you can also do it in the evening after the sun goes down. If you're using overhead, that could promote fungus, so you want to do it in the morning. If you're still worried about how long to run your drippers and you're concerned about the health of your plants, there is one thing you can do that smooths all of it over, and that's add mulch. Mulch is a game changer. It helps your soil retain moisture, and it basically gives you a huge margin for error. A simple way to check your soil is with the finger test. Just go around to where your plants are growing, stick your finger all the way into the soil. If it feels cool and moist, your soil's where it needs to be. If it feels dry, it needs a little bit of water. And if it's soggy or sopping wet or even just wet, it means you're watering too much. When I test the moisture level in my soil, I like to do it right before I do a watering cycle. That way, if it's bone dry, I know I might need to add a little bit to my watering cycle. If it's moist, then I might not need that watering cycle at all. And you don't have to take my word for all of this. In fact, check out the video there in the top right. It's our garden tour video, and we'll let the plants speak for themselves.